All right, so now it's time to put our drawing onto the tea paper. Got both finished and they're ready to go. Here was my reference picture. So I made just the contour drawing, the outline of like important areas. So make sure that when you get to this part that you have your drawing just like you want it, like the outlines just like you want it, or eye placement, mouth placement, nose placement. Now, how to transfer that on there. You may be able to see through your paper depending on how dark, you know, if I put it up to a light source. But I'm going to show you a different way so that you don't have to worry about holding it up the whole time. So what I need for you to do is to take that drawing, flip it over, flip it upside down, find a light source that can be behind it, and all I'm going to do is script. Now remember, here's my good drawing. I'm flipping it over. I've got it on the back. And all I'm doing is just coloring really hard because I want to transfer. I want to transfer my drawing to the tea paper. And I need to be able to see where to do that. So, and I don't take a long time to do it, as you can see. I'm just scribbling, but I'm pressing down really hard. Like I'm putting some thick pencil line on there and getting the major lines. I can always go back and make small details if I need to. I have a really dark pencil right now. Okay, and already I'm finished. So you see how long that took. So the next part is that we're going to lay that down and we're going to place it on our paper wherever we think that we would like it to be. So the next part, we need to make sure that we have all the necessary materials. You'll need a pencil so that you can trace this on there. I have an eraser, I have my charcoal. I left you a nice charcoal pencil, should be a soft one. And I left you some vine charcoal. Vine charcoal is actually just a plant that's been burned, and this is what's left of it, like the stem of it. This is charcoal too, but it's compressed and it's made harder so that we can get some darker lines out of this. We can do more detail with this one. And this is going to be for our broad areas. Now you might want some smaller things to blend, like a Q-tip. We can use paper towel for the bigger areas. So I've got a little bit of everything going here. This is what we just did. We scribbled on the back so that we can get this to transfer off. So now I need to figure out placement wise, where do I want this to be on my paper? And am I going to make more than one? That might be the possibility too. Some of you are doing more than one. So I like to put things a little off center sometimes, not exactly in the middle of my paper. People like things just a little bit off centered, so I'm using the edge of my paper as a guideline so that I know where that is. And I may add just a slight bit of background to it later, so I'm kind of keeping that in mind as well. Now, when you do this part, we want to press down so that we can check and make sure this is coming off, like it's transferring to the other paper. So I flip it up and I do, but if I press too hard, the problem with that is it may make indentations into my paper that I don't want. So now I'm just getting that final outline on there. All right, so the next part, and I've already started here, you can see I'm going to take my vine charcoal and I'm going to go around the edge of this so that we can darken it in. This would have been something that the prehistoric artists would have used, like they would have outlined it and then started going back in and filling it in, and then we can add the details later. So right now it's not going to look as probably as neat as maybe what you're comfortable with, but I want you to trust me on this one. It will all come together at the end. Okay, so the next part is trying to take some of that and smear it out. And I've already started a little bit of this. You can see the difference between where the line was and what I have right here. And I'm being very careful to stay on the inside of the animal and not go on the outside of the animal. So I'm just kind of putting a base coat down. You can take your paper towel and if you want to twist it and use it like that. It's a little hard though to kind of pull it out. I don't have a lot of control over it, but depending on what you have available to you, that might be the only thing that you have right now. Really, Q-tips work just about as well as anything. I have a little more room to pull it out. I can control it a little bit better with my hands. And I'm not trying to make, I don't want it to be like, I don't want to see lines so much as I just want a soft kind of gray tone inside there. And like I said, I'm being careful to pull it down into my animal or up into my animal. It's kind of like when you prime a wall with paint and then you go over it with the final color. Sometimes you don't start out with what it's going to end up like. So I'm just trying to define the animal. Give it that soft tone first, and then I'll go back and be a little more bold. Oh, I missed a spot too. So I'm going to take that. Be careful with your charcoal. Keep control of it. It can be messy really fast. Don't put your hand down. You have to keep your hand off of it. All right, now we've got it started. Now it's ready for the next layer.